So the public relations practitioner needs to figure out what is the most effective way to reach an intended audience and persuade them to believe the client's message. So how do public relations professionals go about doing this? How do they figure out what's the best or most effective message to send? Well, they do a lot of research and they use a number of methods that are very similar to advertising. So public relations firms will do lots of surveys with members of an intended public or group, asking people lots of questions about the person's impression of the client, what he or she thinks about the client's activities or views on things, and so on. The PR firm will also likely do lots of focus groups, and we've talked about this before as well. The firm will do focus groups with small groups of people where a moderator will ask the group lots of questions about the client's activities and current events relating to the client. And PR professionals will also find out what the public thinks about the client using lots of analytic tools available for social media. These tools allow the public relations firm to assess what is being said about the client on Facebook and other forms of social media. These analytic tools allow the client to see if a lot of negative comments are being made about the client, what kinds of things, either favorable or unfavorable, are being reported by people about the corporation, and so on. So the public relations firm will take into account the results of these surveys and focus groups and assessment of social media to figure out what is going to be the most effective message and the most effective way to persuade the public of the client's point of view. So once the public relations firm has done this research, it will develop a message to convey to the public. And what it will do is use a number of tools to try and persuade media outlets and news organizations to cover the activities of the client in a very favorable manner, and to favorably report on the views of the client. Now, how does the public relations professional do this? Well, what they try to do is to make it as easy for a journalist or a news organization, to make it as easy as possible for the journalist to report on information that the client wants. So one common practice is the press release, where the public relations professional will write up a short article that conveys the views of the company or reports on an event that the company is having in a very kind of concise, succinct manner. And this press release is written in a style that is very similar to a news article, right, that you would see in a newspaper. Here, the intention is to encourage the news organization or the reporter to rely on this press release for information that is used in the news organization's report or newspaper, right? And a lot of times you'll see newspapers simply use a modified version of the press release that is distributed by the PR firm. Now, some critics argue that this is very lazy journalism because the journalist isn't really doing their job they're not doing their job to investigate the accuracy of the information provided in this press release. But a lot of times, journalists or reporters that are short on time, or news organizations that don't have a lot of resources, will just kind of rely on these press releases as the basis for their reports or articles. A more recent version of the press release that is modified for the needs of television and video news services is the video news release, or VNR. This is where the public relations firm will actually construct a short story or report on its activities or views in the style of a report that would be shown on a television news program, right? So the video news release might be a short 2 or 3 minute story about the activities of a client or their views on particular issues of the day. And this video news release might feature graphics, video, images. It might even include a voiceover or a faux stand-up reporter. Now, sometimes news organizations will rely on these video news releases for its own stories, and smaller stations with very limited resources might actually just use these video news releases pretty much in their original form as the basis for a story. Again, ethical concerns here about whether or not that's really appropriate, because some critics argue that when a TV news station uses a video news release as the basis for a story, the audience for that news program is likely not aware that this video news release came from this client or corporation, and that it represents the subjective point of views of this client. But in any event, public relations firms find that the video news release is a very effective way to convey their point of view. And again, the goal here is to make it as easy as possible for the journalist to simply use the materials provided by the PR firm as the basis for their news reporting. And obviously, with the emergence of the internet and other digital media, public relations firms have adapted by incorporating a number of online activities into their public relations function. So the public relations firm might be responsible for maintaining a website for the client or corporation that reports on the corporation's activities and presents the views of the client in a very effective, persuasive manner. And as the chapter also talks about, the public relations professional will also make great use of social media like Facebook, maintain a Facebook site for the client that, again, provides up-to-date reporting on the activities of the client and the client's views. So again, a number of ways in which the public relations professional here conveys the message of the client in an attempt to persuade an intended audience.